All right. So, sodium. Why is it important? All right. So, why do I tell clients not to cut sodium, especially when you're becoming active? Got some notes. All right. So, sodium, just the most basic way to put it. Yeah, I know I look all dirty and chalky. I just got done training. Uh, so sodium. So without it, you'll get cramps. Like everyone says, when you get cramps, you're dehydrated, and that can also you can also get cramps because you're sodium depleted. You don't have enough salt in your body because sodium is the main electrolyte that your body uses. So it's very important. That's why, like a Gatorade, the electrolytes, it's all in it. It's just sodium. So instead of drinking a Gatorade, you can just take a salt tablet and you'll be okay. All right. So, function of nervous system and muscles, and then fluid balance, right? So, like the electrolytes. So, it regulates your fluid balance in your body. Pretty much, sodium stays in either your blood or the kidneys because the kidneys are your primary filter system of your body. So when sodium goes up, your blood volume decreases. And when sodium goes down, your blood volume increases. Okay? So think of it, so when you're exercising and you're sweating, which as I mentioned before, just because you're sweating doesn't mean that you're getting an amazing workout. You're just flushing some sweat out, some salt out. You probably had a little more salt that day or the day before. But so when sodium decreases, so when you're excreting sodium, you only excrete sodium through peeing and sweating. So when you're sweating during a workout, you're excreting all that sodium and your blood volume is increasing. That's basically what causes the pump. So, the veins that carry the blood into the muscle, they're dilating, so more blood flow is going through them, but the blood volume is increasing because you're excreting sodium. All right. So, in XPhys, there is exercise physiology. There's a huge concept. It's called resting membrane potential. I'll put a little graph right here. But so resting membrane potential. So I'm gonna drop some science on y'all. This is a science video. Pretty cool. Really cool stuff. All right. So the graph, as you saw, it starts, and it goes up, goes down, and then it goes back to normal. So the way the nervous system works, I want you to think of the nervous system as an electrical system. So the nervous system is the brain and the spinal cord. That's it. That's the CNS, the central nervous system. Then the periphery is, everything that branches off, all the nerves that let you do this and this. So what happens is the central nervous system is electrical. The muscular system is mechanical. So this right here, mechanical, 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 okay? So what happens is there's a stimulus received from outside of your body. So from your environment, there's a stimulus. And what happens is a neuron goes from wherever the stimulus is sensed, from that point in your body, goes to the spinal cord and the brain, and it gets interpreted, and then it's sent out on what's called an action potential. All right? So the action potential is then sent down through the CNS and through the periphery and down into the muscle. And that's what causes movement. All right? So how does this relate to sodium? So there's this thing called the sodium potassium pump. And it regulates resting membrane potential. So resting membrane potential is what regulates an action potential. So you have the resting membrane potential, as you saw, it's at about negative 70 millivolts. All right. And so for the stimulus, for an action potential to be created, so basically for the stimulus, like the response to the stimulus, so basically, let's say like someone was gonna hit you, right? And you went up like that. No, that's a bad example. Let's say, I can't think of an example. It's kind of hard to put. But so what happens is you have potassium inside the cell and sodium outside. So what happens is the action potential must be, so the resting membrane potential starts here and then it goes up. Well, in order for it to go up and an action potential be created, so basically your response to a stimulus, so basically you doing this, right? You have to, that resting membrane potential has to go from negative 70 to negative 55. All right. And how does that happen? Sodium. So with sodium, the action potential can be created. So basically, without sodium, your muscle cannot contract. That doesn't mean, oh, you can't go squat or deadlift. Nope, that means you can't even move, because how does movement happen? It's your muscle pulling on your bones and your joints. That's what movement is it's your muscles contracting. So basically, without sodium, you can't move. You cannot live. So sodium is important. Don't cut it out of your diet, especially if you exercise regularly. I mean, me personally, so the American Heart Association says that a grown male should only get like 2,300 milligrams. I probably get like 8,000 milligrams a day, 8 to 12,000 milligrams a day, which is 12 grams, which they recommend 2.3 grams. And my resting heart rate is like 48. I don't have a heart problem or blood pressure problems. Very, very far from it. My heart doesn't have to work hard at all. So take it or leave it. But so get your sodium. That will help you perform in the gym better, because when there's an excess sodium, and potassium is important too, but when there's an excess of sodium, the sodium will flood into the cell and help the action potential be created, which causes, so the action potential, here's negative 70, here's negative 55. This right here, the stimulus must cross negative 55 volts in order for the action potential to even be created. So for you to do anything, you have to have sodium. And then, it goes up and depolarizes and it gets to, 0, and then it hyperpolarizes because sodium channels close and then potassium channels open, and potassium leaves the cell because sodium was entering the cell. And then the graph, it goes up, and then it goes way back down, and it goes to negative 90 millivolts. So, the stimulus is gone, the action potential is gone, and then it kind of normalizes again, and it's back to resting. So to summarize, get your sodium, because in order for action potentials in your muscles to be created, so for your brain, central nervous system, brain, spinal cord, to create an action potential, or aka movement, you must have sodium. get taken up into the cell. Plain and simple. Okay, so get your sodium. Of course, if your doctor, I'm not a doctor, not yet at least, but if your doctor has you on a low sodium protocol, I would advise that you stick to that. But if you exercise regularly, get more sodium. Even if your doctor, I bet anything, you could lower your blood pressure if you just get more potassium. You're probably potassium deficient. So eat more spinach and potatoes and avocados. Don't just eat bananas. But anyway, that's another video. But yeah, get your sodium. You'll thank me later. All right. Follow me on Instagram up here, Snapchat. For training inquiries, just DM me. Like, comment, subscribe. See you next time.